This conference will now be recorded.
All right, let's continue. We are discussing SAP Commerce Cloud, which is nothing but CCv2, right? So yesterday we started with SAP Commerce Cloud, which is a CCv2. Okay? We started with SAP Commerce Cloud, which is nothing but a CCv2. So then CCv2 code equal to what? On-premise code, okay, plus manifest.json. Okay, CCv2 code equal to on-premise code plus manifest.json and few additional. And these additionals are optional. So this is what we discussed yesterday. You guys remember?
Yes, sir.
So I said this is a powerful conclusion we covered yesterday. So therefore, CCv2 code equal to on-premise code plus manifest.json plus a few additional. So few additionals are nothing but what? Let's say if you want to use hot folders. So additionals are nothing but what? So let's say you want to use hot folders. You have additional steps. Okay, example, to use hot folders. So we have additional steps. What are those? We'll discuss now. Okay, so we have extra steps. What are those? We'll discuss now. So therefore, we started with the CCv2 yesterday. So therefore, we had a conclusion. CCv2 code base equal to on-premise code base plus manifest.json, few additional. Now we need to know two questions, right? Question number one is what? Where to put this manifest.json? So that's the question number one. Then question number two is what to write. So what to write in manifest.json? So these are the two questions. Yesterday I clearly told, can you recollect the point please? Okay, yesterday I clearly told, so the main input for CCv2 is manifest.json. From manifest.json, CCv2 understands what kind of commerce version client want, what kind of extensions client want, what kind of properties client want, what kind of custom code they have written. All this information it will understand and give the infrastructure for us. Give the infrastructure for us. So therefore, now we have seen what is the use of this manifest.json. Now two questions. One question is where to put this manifest.json and what to write in the manifest.json. First, let's answer the where to put the manifest.json. For that, there is a tutorial here. Okay, so you can see, not this one. So you can go here. So this is one of the tutorial. Spartacus and Commerce Cloud setup example. So let me go to this tutorial. It's not a tutorial here. It is a blog basically. Why it's not opening? Okay, it is there 2 times. That's the thing. Public GitHub code here. Where? Okay, I need to copy only this piece. Okay, so this is a public GitHub code, and you can see here they have given manifest.json. So you can see, so this is your code base. Assume that this is your code base. Then you need to create a folder called core customize. In the core customize, can you see our project please? So if you see, this is what our project, right? So Hybris. So in the core customize, you have the Hybris. In the Hybris, so we have bin custom. So in the custom, we have the code. So this is what our structure. So on top of that, what you are doing, so you can see within the Hybris, okay, within the Hybris, you have the bin, and you also have the config. So in the config, you have local.properties, local extensions file. This is same for on-premise. So these two are same for on-premise. Then what is extra? In the core customize, you can see there is a manifest.json. So therefore, in the core customize, you can see there is a manifest.json. So therefore, you can observe the structure one more time, please. You can observe the structure one more time. So let's say this is the repository structure. In the repository structure, there is a core customize. Inside the core customize, you need to keep your Hybris. So in the Hybris, two things are important. One is bin config. So you can see within the Hybris, bin config. Within the bin, you have custom. So within the custom, we have the code. Within the custom, we have the code. Platform and modules you don't need to put because this is the OOTB. So CCv2 will provide for us. That's what I told yesterday. CCv2 will provide for us. Only custom you are responsible. So those things you have put here. Then here you are writing the manifest.json. Now the question is, okay, now the question. So we have seen where to put this example. This is the example. You can refer it later. Okay, next question is what to write in this. So the first one is you can specify what SAP Commerce version you want. You can specify what SAP Commerce version you want. Okay, so you can specify. So let's say you are working for Chroma company. Chroma company need which commerce version. Let's say if they want to 2205 or 2105, like that you can specify. Let's say you are specifying version like this. Can you guys see this one? If you guys mention the version like this, then within the version we have patch numbers, right? Within the version we have the patch numbers 2105.01.02 like that, right? So if you mention like this, then so if any patch comes, understand the conclusions clearly, please. If you specify like this, if any patch comes, example, so let's say tomorrow there is a patch released 2105.01, then it will be applied automatically to your environment, when you do the build and deploy. That's it. So that means patch numbers automatically will be applied. Now let's say you are thinking that you don't want the patch numbers. Okay, let's say if your company don't want, okay, so next to patch numbers, then what you can do is that then you can simply specify, okay, then you can simply specify dot, let's say you don't want anymore, so then you can specify dot 0, or let's say you want 01, after 01 you don't want, then you can specify like this. So tomorrow if 02 comes, it will not apply. Day after tomorrow if 05 comes, it will not apply. So that is the meaning of this one. See, this is simple statement is controlling everything. So let's say tomorrow you want to upgrade. Can you guys see this one? How easy it is. Tomorrow you want to upgrade this modules and platform to 2205. Tomorrow you want to upgrade this modules and platform to 2205. Now you can come here, change it to 2205. The moment you change it to 2205, then when you do the build and deploy, then these two will be replaced with the 2205. These two will be replaced with the 2205. That is the power of this statement here. That is the power of the statement. So that's about the first statement. Then second one. So if you want some enable image processing services and all, then you can make it as a true. Otherwise you can leave it. Then for your company, you need lots of extensions, right? Where are the extensions? So here are the extensions. Here are the extensions. So therefore, specify the location of your extensions. Specify the location of your extensions. You can see. Specify the location of your extensions. So it is there in the config local extensions.xml. Config local extensions.xml. Next, for your company, you are adding so many properties, right? Then you need to specify Okay, properties of your location. So where is this? In the config local.properties. So in the config local.properties. So please remember this, every environment will have its own local.properties. So for development, you can create a development.properties. For staging, staging.properties. For production, production.properties. Like that, you can create your own property file for each environment. Like that, you can create, okay, like that, you can have property file for each environment. Like that, you can have property file for each environment. So therefore, first thing is that you are specifying, okay, you are specifying what commerce version you want for your company. Next one is you can specify what extensions you want for your company. So those are available where? In the local extensions. So let's say in the local extensions, you have so many extensions. In the cloud, assume that some of them are not needed. Then you can also put the exclusion list. You can also put the exclusion list. Maybe those are required for your local for testing purpose, something else. Maybe in the cloud, it's not required. Then you can put the exclusion list from that. Similarly, for your development, you are adding some properties, right? Specify the location of your property file. So for development, development.property. Okay, for staging, staging.property. For production, production.property. Like that, you can specify the property file's location. Next, so let's say for your company, you are using additional additional accelerators. For example, you are using, you are working for Duke Energy. Duke Energy is using, let's say, let's say you are working for Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean is using travel accelerator. Then specify the travel accelerator information also. You can see additional packages or extension packages. So let's say you are using travel package. So then specify the travel package and its corresponding version. Specify the travel package details and corresponding its version, because that is also will have its own version. Next, so let's say you are using some integration related packages. If you are using integration related packages, specify its name and the corresponding version. Like that, you need to input what are all you need for your company so that CCv2 will accommodate for us when we do the build and deploy. Okay, so that's about this information. That's about local data properties information, local extensions information. Then you need to specify, okay, for your company, do you remember when we set up a B2B custom site, did we install the add-ons? When we set up custom B2B site, did we install the add-ons?
Yes.
Yes. So for your company, if you need any add-ons, specify the add-ons information. Specify the add-ons information. Then add-on needs to install for storefront, right? Specify the add-on information and the site information. So like this, if you have more add-ons, specify the add-ons information. Once you specify the add-ons information, then the next thing is that once you specify the add-on information, next thing is that, so if it is a local, how are you accessing back office? /back office, right? Similarly, in the CCv2, what is the context you want to use? Do you want to use /back office? Something else. So those also you can specify. We call them as aspects. Okay, we call them as aspects. Now you can see how you want to access the HAC/HAC. How you want to access the media/media. How you want to access the back office/back office. So that means, so let's say here I am giving, okay, here I am giving /back office 123. Then after the host name, then you need to use /back office 123. Like this, you can specify what are the different contexts you want for your applications, for your aspects. So here back office is one, because we have so many web applications, right? So HAC is one application, back office is one application, Okay, smart edit is another application like that. For each one, how do you want to access? You need to specify those information. You can specify those information. Similarly, we have back office smart edit and all. Similarly, we have a website, right? So you need to specify the website URL also. Okay, you need to specify the website URL also. You need to specify the website URL also. So let me show you here. Okay, so these are all the local dot properties and the back office context just now we discussed. Okay, so how you want to access the smart edit, CMS cockpit, okay, web services, all these things. Then accelerator storefront. So accelerator storefront means what? Sites. How do you want to access the site? So let's say development. So this is the URL you want to access. For development, SSO URL. So let's say your company is using SSO. Then for development, SSO URL. What is the SSO URL? After the host name, you can see SAML single sign-on like that. Okay, next, so you want to use Spartacus. If you want to use the Spartacus for development, what is the Spartacus URL you can specify? For development, what is the Spartacus URL you can specify? Okay, next, this one we discussed just now. Okay, now you can see SSO staging. So similarly, you want to use SSO for development for staging. So for staging also you can specify the URLs. Okay, so those are all part of the accelerator site. Accelerator storefront. For an accelerator storefront, you are defining what is the key and the corresponding URL and for which environment, development environment, stage environment, production environment, like that you can specify, and so on, so. Then you want to run any background jobs. Example background jobs are hard folders. Hard folders will run in the background. Now let's see. I said we need additional steps, right? So if you want to use hard folders in cloud, so 2 steps are extra. Okay, first step is, okay, so whatever you have done for on-premise, you can do it. Then second step is, okay, so let me write here, how to use hard folders in cloud. When I say cloud here, CCv2, are you guys are able to hear me? Okay, step number 1 is do whatever we learned for on-premise. Then step number 2, after that you can come to manifest.json. See this one. You can come to manifest.json. You need to add this. Okay, you need to add this one. File pattern you need to add here. What kind of file pattern, all those things. And you can see hard folders. You want to enable the hard folders. So these are all the entries you need to add here, simple word. So cloud.hardfolder.default mapping. So file pattern mappings you need to mention. Okay, so therefore in the manifest.json, okay, in manifest.json, specify the file pattern. So what kind of files you want to accept it? So customer data, okay, unit data, okay, some other data, like that you can specify. Like that you can specify. So once you specify that, and pattern CSV files, right? Like that you can specify. Then storage, where the file will be storage, or what kind of files you want to accept. What kind of files? Just now I said customer files, okay, order files, like that, whatever you want to load it. Then, so let's say you are loading the product data. Product data will go to specific catalog, right? Product data will go to specific catalog, right? So you can specify the catalog information also. You can specify the catalog information also. Finally, where you want to drop the root location. So root location is hard folder. That means if you go to the dropping location, there will be something called a hard folder. Like this, you need to add the additional entries in the manifest.json. After adding additional entries in the manifest.json, third step is you need to drop in your file. Okay, you need to drop your file in Azure Blob storage. Okay, so that's it. That is the one more step. Let me show you how to drop in the Azure Blob storage. Okay, so these are all the different tutorials here. You can go through this. Here also you can find all those things. Okay, you can see, yeah, this one. Hot folder Azure Blob storage tutorial. Let me see if I am able to use this. Yeah, so you can see here. So this is the tutorial for Azure Blob storage. So this is how you will get it. So you need to install basically Azure Blob storage like that. You can see I have installed Azure Blob storage. So once you click on this, you will get this kind of editor, or you will get this kind of window. So here you need to connect to the Azure Blob storage. How do you connect to the Azure Blob storage? So when you go to your cloud environment, you will see some keys. That keys you need to input here. You need to right click, create a connection. When you create a connection, there it is going to ask username, password. Those username, passwords are nothing but your CCv2 environment. Let's say you have a development environment, staged environment, production environment, right? There you will see key and this one. So from there you need to copy and put it here. Once you copy and put it here, you can see there is a folder called hot folder. That's what I mentioned here. Okay, so that's what I mentioned here, hot folder. So you can click on the hot folder. Then you can see there is an option called upload. So here you can drop the file. The moment you drop the file, let's say you created this connection for development, then the file will be, or data will be loaded into the development environment. If you configure the connection for staging and drop the file here, then data will go to the staging, and so on, so on, so on. And so on, so on. So that's it. So these are the additional steps, nothing more than that. That's how we can use the CCv2. That's how we can use the CCv2 for hot folders. Is that clear, Ravi? Any questions?
So you said like what kind of files to access, right? So can we use CSV and .txt other files as well? Can we configure that?
Okay, so CSV is the best practice. Okay, that's it. I told XML is also possible, but XML no one uses because of speed and all. CSV is the best one. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's come here, please. That's about the hot folders, and that's about the additional things you need to do based on your environment. Okay, so what to specify in the manifest.json? Just now we discussed. Okay, what to write? So so can you recollect once, please, what to write in this? So you need to specify what to write in manifest.json. So you specify SAP Commerce version. Specify your company local extensions dot XML file details. Okay, specify your company local dot properties. Then specify if any additional packages are required. Then specify context for back office, all those things. Then specify URLs, storefront URLs. Specify accelerator store URLs. Then if at all you are using some background jobs, specify those information. Okay, specify those details. Example, hot folders. Then what else here? If you want some additional properties which are not there in the local dot properties, those also you can specify here.
Solar version also.
Sorry.
Solar version also we can specify.
Yes, you can specify that. Solar version, all those things. Angular version, all those things. Like this, you can specify all the details in the manifest.json. Now, CCv2 will take this manifest.json and understand, oh, okay, Okay, this client want 2205. So it will provide the, okay, it will provide the 2205 version of the modules and platform. Then this client want, okay, this kind of extensions. Okay, so it will provide it. And this client has the custom code. Anyway, we will deploy it. So you don't need to input a custom code. So basically you need to specify the local extensions file information, local properties information, any additional extensions, additional properties. Okay, what commerce you need, what packages you need, what integrations you need, all these things you need to specify in the manifest.json. Now, once manifest.json is ready, can you come back here, please? So this is how you need to create the manifest.json. You can also refer this as your example for when you are working. You can refer this as an example for when you are working. So these are all there in the corresponding links are there in the notes also. Corresponding links are there in the notes also. You no need to send email. Oh, can you send me this manifest.json again? Okay, it's there in the GitHub itself. Okay, so once this is done, then so here manifest.json is there, then Hybris custom code is there here, then here config is there, and platform, all those things you will get it from the CCv2. That's it. Once you make this ready, okay, so once this is ready, then what to do next? What to do next? So now I am telling you here, first thing is that your company wants CCv2, right? Your company wants CCv2. So therefore your company should speak. Okay. So let's see this. Okay. Can you guys see this one, please? Now, so your company, so let's take the example of Reliance Digital. Okay, your company, so your company, so let's say Reliance Digital want to use CCv2, right? So if they want to use CCv2, then what to do? See, from coding side, from these are all done. So then what you need to do? Step number 1. So Reliance Digital should talk to SAP and get talk to SAP and they explain the situation. Explain the situation. Explain what they want. So what they want means. So initially, do I need the production system? Initially, do I need a production system?
No.
No. So therefore, initially I can start with the development D1 system. Initially, I can start with the D1 system and the staging system. Later, I can take the production system. So that's why Reliance Digital should talk to SAP and explain what they want, and based on that, pay amount, then your company account get created. Okay, account get created. That's it. You can see here, please. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Your company account get created. Once your account get created, then you are telling that, okay, hey, I want a development system, production system, right? I want a development system, production system. So then those information, you can go to the CX cockpit, cockpit CX cloud.sap. That time you can see the environments allocated for you. So this is the old way of checking here. This is the old way of checking, but now we have a new way. Let's directly switch to the new way. Okay, so the new way is this one. Okay, me.sap.com here. So, okay, what I'm trying to say that, okay, Reliance Digital should talk to SAP and explain what they want. So let's say initially you want only development and S1 system, and they will listen it. You do the payment. Then your company get account created. After creating, so you can go to the me.sap.com. Go to the me.sap.com. Okay, so you can go to the me.sap.com. You can go to the me.sap.com and you can see what environments are allocated for you. Okay, so you can see environments allocated for you. So you can see here, please, environments allocated for you. You can go to this. Okay, so you can see, so me.sap.com. Can you observe this one? me.sap.com. Then you can see once you go here, it is going to ask username password. Obviously your account get created, right? Your account get created means you will get some username password. So so this guy is the super admin. Okay, super admin username password, you get it. Is that clear? Okay,
Sure.
super admin user and password, you will get it. With that, you can go to this me.sap.com. Then you can see there is an option called systems and provision. So here you can see what systems are allocated for you. There is a development allocated for you. There is a staging allocated for you and all. You can see that information. So this is me.sap.com. In the olden days, we were using cockpit.cx.cloud.sap. So here also you can see there is an option here to see what environments allocated, like a staging environment, production environment. These are all provision like that. Okay, so now with the super admin, you can log in. Okay, you can log in and check the environment details, what environments are available, all these things. That's it here. Okay, next thing is that. Okay, so now can you guys observe this one, please? You need to understand the scenario. So this is the step number 1. Now, when account is created, only one account is created. But in the real time, let's say Reliance Digital, only one person will manage everything, or we need to create more users on top of this.
More users.
Okay, yes. So step number 2 is create more users for your company. So that you can do it. So for your company means Reliance Digital. So how do you do it? Can you see this one, please? I'm showing here clearly because we cannot practice these things. You need to understand from the document. That's why in the document all the steps are mentioned very clearly. So there is a URL called portal.commerce. This one. You need to go to this URL. Okay, portal.commerce.ondemand.com. So then you have the username password, right? Enter your username password. Then you can see here. There is a user management. Go here and there is a option called create. So create it. So when you create it, you can specify what kind of user this guy is. Can you observe this one, please? You have different options to specify. When you are creating the user, so let's say I am creating Chenna. For Chenna, I am giving log. Log means what? He can only check the logs. He cannot do anything. Okay, so let's say Ravi, I am making developer. Okay, Ravi, I am making developer. So if I am making developer, he can check the logs and he can do the build and he can deploy it also. Build and deploy also. Okay, let's say RRS I am making as admin. RRS I am making as admin. So if I make it RRS as admin, then he can check the logs, he can do the build, he can deploy, and he can also create users. That's the difference between these three. Is that clear? So they can also create the users. So if I make RRS is the admin, then he can check the log, he can do the build, he can deploy it, and also he can create other users. Now there is one disadvantage here, right? What is the disadvantage? Okay, so let's say can you observe this one, please? Let's say my company, I have development system, I have stage system, I have production system. Okay, so I want to give only developer role for Ravi for development system only. Okay, for development system only, not for remaining systems. So last year this was not possible. Last year this was not possible. Even this year also till April this was not possible. After April, okay, after giving lots of complaints to SAP, they changed the look and feel. So here you also have an option to select which system. You will get the systems here. So like a S1, D1, P1 like that. So therefore, now let's say you selected the admin. Admin for which system? You can tick mark it. Okay. So let's say you selected the developer. Developer for which system? You can tick mark it. Is it clear? Like that you have the option from this April. But before we don't have that option. So this is how you can manage the users for your company. Is that clear?
Question.
Okay, good. So therefore we have seen how to manage. So first step is what? Step number 1, your company should talk to SAP and explain what environments you want, and those environments are allocated for you, and you can see those and you can allocate those. Okay, you can provision those from the me.sap.com. After that, for your company, you may need more users. You can create it from cloud. So this is called a CCv2 portal here. This name is CCv2 portal, Commerce Cloud portal. Okay, that's it. So that is how you can create the users. That's what it is explained here. That's what is explained here. Next, so the next step is now you need to pay attention. Okay, now you need to pay attention. So your code is available where? Somewhere else in the Git. Your code is available where? Somewhere else in the Git. Can you please observe here? So let's say this is what your code. It is there in the Git. To understand in the easiest way, let's say this is there in the Ravi machine. To understand in the easy way, I am explaining here, okay? Let's say this is in the Ravi machine. Or let's say this is the RRS machine. This is the code where you have. Then this is the CCv2. So environment is available where? Somewhere else. Okay, environment is available where? Somewhere else, CCv2. Okay, let's say this is the CCv2. It's available somewhere else. Assume that this is there in the Chenna machine. I'm just giving a simplest example, but in the reality, you need to visualize these are the environments. Okay, so let's say this is there in the Chenna place. Okay, so code is available at one place, environment is available at one place. Now, this code you need to deploy in this environment, right? This code you need to deploy in this environment, yes or no? Yes. So that means we need to establish connection between these two. Okay. So therefore, step number 3 is, okay, step number 3 is configure repo details or establish connection between SAP Commerce Cloud is nothing but CCv2 environment and repo. Repo means Git. So how do I do that? For that step number 1. For that is step number 1. What is the step number 1? So this is the Git URL, right? So if you see here, if you go to this, then you have this URL. This URL information you can configure in the CCv2. Step number 1, Git URL configure in CCv2. How do I do that? I am showing. How do I do that? I am showing. So you can take the Git URL, repository code URL. Let's say this is the code and this is the URL. You can see This is the URL. So this is the Git repository URL. So this URL, you take it and go to the Commerce Cloud version. Okay, so go to the Commerce Cloud portal. In the Commerce Cloud portal, there is an option called build here. Click on that. There is an option here, build here. Click on that. So that's what I am explaining here. You can see. So go to the Git and copy that particular URL. That's what I shown you just now. Copy this particular URL. Once you copy the URL, then go to the CCv2. Okay, go to the CCv2. There is a repository here. Can you see this one? Option, there is a repository. There you paste that URL. Once you paste the URL, there is a public key here. Okay, after pasting the URL, click on save. There is a public key. Copy this public key. So therefore, step number 2, you can go there and so this is the one, right? So configure the repo. So we configured it. After that, there is a public key generated. Copy the public key. Copy the public key. This public key you need to set in the Git so that a connection is established. So step number 3, set the public key in Git. So what does that mean? Let me show you. So you can copy that public key. Then you can see, you can go to the Git, go to the my account settings. Okay, so there is a SH this one SH keys. There create a new key and give the key name and paste that public key. This is how you are establishing the connection between those two. This is how you are establishing the connection between those two. Is that clear?
Yes, Chenna.
I'm repeating one more time. So now CCv2 is somewhere else, Git is somewhere else. We need to establish the connection. How do we establish the connection? Step number 1, you can go to this Git, take the Git location. So this location you can have, I can have, anyone can have. Does that mean that everyone can access this? No. Then how are we controlling? This is how we control. So once you take this and once you configure in CCv2, you can go to CCv2. There is a repository here. Paste that URL, click on save. The moment you save, the public key is generated. This public key you take and go and put in the Git. This way Git makes sure that it is giving the data for right people. So that means if a request is coming from this guy, if the request is coming from this guy who is having this public key matching here, then only it will allow to access, otherwise it will not allow. That is how we are establishing the secure connection between CCv2 and Git repo. Is that clear?
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, that's it. So this is the next step. So therefore, how to configure the Git repo details, we explained it. Once that is done, yeah, these are all just, we already covered that, right? So platforms, all those things, we covered it. So if any extensions are required, how to add the extensions, those are all we covered already. Okay, so once that is done, okay, so verify the Manifest.json, we did it already. Okay. Okay, so once that is done, then, okay, step number 4. So let's say after deploying, you will have the sites, right? After deploying, okay, so you will have sites, back office, HAC, all those things, right? All those things. Do you allow this for public or you restrict it? So example, back office. Do you allow back office public? So that means can you access back office from your internet, or you want within restricted IPs? Site is okay.
Within
Site you can access, I can access, everyone can access. But back office, do you think that everyone can access the back office?
no, only IP range.
So yes, back office I need to put within intranet. Back office we need to put within intranet, not internet. Similarly, so you have a development site, you have a QA site, and a production site. Production site you can access over the internet. QA site, do you think that you can access over the internet generally? QA development site, it is a internet or intranet?
Intranet.
Okay, so QA sites, all these things are generally intranet. Okay, intranet. Therefore, hence it's time to configure the IP filters. IP filters. Hence, it's time to configure the IP filters. Which IPs you want to configure? So IP filter sets. How do I do that? You can see here there is a security. Everything you will do in the CCv2 portal here. Everything you will do in the CCv portal. Commerce Cloud portal. Are you guys are clear?
Yes, sir.
Ravi, Raj, Shruti, Santosh, Sanjay, Kanishk, Sudhakar, Vishnu, Vishnupriya.
Clear, sir.
Okay. So then what you need to do is that you need to open you need to create one test file, specify what IPs you want to allow. So let's say IPs ranges are nothing but, so okay, 122 dot, okay, 28 dot, 56 dot something. Like this, you can create one text file. Allowed IPs list you create. Okay, allowed IPs list you create. After creating, then you can go to your CCv2, go to security. There is a IP filter set. There is a tab called IP filter set. Click on create. Then give any name and upload your IPs. Upload your IPs. That's it. After upload, attach these IPs for the back office, sites, and so on and so on. Therefore, two steps or three steps. Step number one is what? Create list of the IPs, which you want to allow, which you don't want to allow. Upload in security IP filter set. So security IP filter set. Then step number three, attach these IP filter set list to the URL. So URL can be what? Back office URL, site URL, and so on and so on. How to attach, I will tell you. So this I will tell you how to attach. Third step I will tell you again. That's it. This is the step. Is that clear so far? If it is clear, then I will tell you how to attach this IP filter set for the back office, site, and all.
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Okay. Now let's see how do I attach this IP filter set, whatever you have, to the sites, so that only these IPs can access this. For that, so again we'll come back to this, but let's move on. For that, every website, let me show you that. Yes. Okay. Okay. For that, okay. Now the next fourth step is what? Third step is what? Attach this IP filter set for the sites and all. So that means back office is kind of a URL. Okay, site is kind of a URLs, right? So where can I see that URLs? You can click on the environments. Everything is in the CCv2 portal only. In the CCv2, there is a environments. The moment you click on the environment, it will show you have development environment, you have stage environment, you have production environment and all. Let's say I click on the development environment. I click on the development environment. Then it will show you the URLs here. Can you see this one? So there is a back office URL, there is a Spartacus URL, there is a site URL, like that it will show you. Okay, so you can click on the environments, select your environment, let's say staging. Then it will show the endpoints. Endpoints are nothing but URLs. So there is a back office URL, there is a JS storefront means Spartacus. Similarly, accelerator site URL, like that you have the URLs. So let's say for JS storefront, Spartacus storefront. Okay, Spartacus storefront I want to access within some IPs. So therefore, click on that endpoint, click on that URL. Once you click on the URL, so can you see this? There is an option. Are you guys able to see the option, or you want to make a little bit bigger?
Yes, Chenna. We can see.
Okay. Yes. Now you can see there is an option here, IP filter sets. So here you need to select by default allow all will be there here. By default allow all will be there. You need to select deny all. Allow all means everyone will access. So let's say for back office URL, you are saying allow all. Then you can access, I can access, you can access from your home, I can access from my home. That's why you need to put deny all here. Then you need to click on add IP filter set. Then select the uploaded filter set. Select the uploaded filter set. So that means whatever IPs are you uploaded, those people only can access this URL. Those people only can access this URL. That's the meaning of this section. If you have any questions, you can ask me, else we will move to the next one.
It's clear, Chenna.
Okay, good. Now let's move on to the next one. Next
Chenna,
one
on
you
the
got.
JS storefront, so if we are not using JS storefront, can we remove that endpoint? Or?
No, those are all default given. So you can add more, but the default one, don't delete it.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the, because if you delete the default one, it's no me. Anyway, see, if you are not using the Spartacus, it's just a URL context. You don't need to worry. So, but after 100 days, if you want to get back again, that's a different procedure. But if you are not using Spartacus, leave it. Don't worry. But you can configure for the back office. That's it.
Okay.
And to make JS storefront deny all. By default, JS storefront allow all, right?
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, just say deny all. Anyway, see, if you are not coded for Spartacus, JS storefront, even though they know the URL, nothing will be there in that. Okay, that's it. Next, step number 5. Okay, step number 5. So let's say as part of your development, you might be integrating with a third party, right? So you might be integrating with the tax system, you might be integrating with the payment system, you might be integrated with the SCPI, like that, right?
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say that as part of development, we might integrate with a third party. Example, CPI, SCPI, both are same here. Okay, so and so on, so. Then it's time to configure trusted certificates. Okay, so therefore to have these third parties, okay, we need to configure trusted certificates. Therefore, fifth step is okay, trusted certificates. So this is also very common step. Okay, first thing is that you need to get the certificates from the source. You need to get the certificate from the source here. So let's say you are integrating with the CPI, you are integrating with some other person, you are integrating with someone else. Get the certificate from them. Okay, so step number 1 is get the certificate, get the cert details from them. Okay, step number 2. Once you get the certs, then go to CCv2 portal and there is a security and there is a SSL certs. So go here, click on create. Click on create. So now you can give any name. And here you need to put their cert file information. Along with the cert, they also give the key. So cert information you can keep here and the key information you can keep here and create it. Okay. So therefore get the cert details from them and configure the SSL cert. So with the key and the file. With the key and the file. Now this cert you need to apply for a site, right? See, if you simply create the cert, this cert is for website or back office, you need to configure it, right? So therefore, third step is again attach these certs to the URLs. So URL can be site URL or whatever it is. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, how do I attach? That's the question. Again, same procedure. How do I attach? Same procedure. Go to the environment. Okay. So go to the environment. Where is that? Yeah. Not here. Yes. So go to the environment. Select your environment. Let's say stage or production, whatever it is. Once you select the environment, then you will get the URLs. Let's say back office URL, site URL, Spartacus URL and all. Click on that URL. Once you click on the URL, so you can see there's a SSL cert. So here you need to select the whatever you created the cert. Here you need to select the whatever you created the cert. That's it. So like this, you can configure the certs. You can configure the IP filter sets. So this section I discussed and this section also I discussed. Good. Next.
Chenna, for certificates, do we get 2 certificates for non-HTTP and non-WW and with the WW prefix?
Generally, nowadays everyone is SSL, HTTPS only. I don't think so. People are still using HTTP.
I mean, www dot prefix will be there, right? Without also we can access the domain.
So it will support both. If
Both.
not supporting, you can ask your source why they are not supporting. Basically, when they export the certs, right, they have different options. So at which level? So root level, sub level, domain level, like that, they have different options. So based on that, they will give it. Generally, they will give with all the combinations. If something is
we
not,
have to create, yeah, we have to create a public endpoint for those two as well, right? In here.
yeah. Okay. So that's about the certs. Then hosted aliases, these are all not required. So now let's say you want to set the VPN connection. So that means this CCv2 should be accessible within the VPN and all. You can do it. Otherwise, it's okay. You can ignore it. Not required. So the next one is step number 5 or 6. Step number 6 or scenario 6, whatever it is here. Okay, let's say scenario 6. What is the scenario 6? Okay, so let's say you have some important information and you want to, so let's say you have some keys, some certs and all, and instead of keeping in your local, is it worth to keep in the CCv2 environment?
Yes.
So let's say, so you have some certs files, you have some password information files, something like that. So instead of keeping in your local, you can also put these files in the CCv2. So that's called the security files. Okay. So therefore, you can see you want to use cloud portal safely upload some security files. Yes, you can come and upload. Okay. Upload security files. Security files example means what? Your cert files, your password files, like that. So where do I do that? You can simply go to the security and you can see here security files, click on create. Now it is going to ask the name and you can see what kind of files you can upload. You can upload the JKS files, you can upload the key files, you can upload the text files, you can upload the passwords and all. Later you have an option to download also. This is how you can keep your files securely.
This is just for us or for application to read it?
Sorry?
This is just for maintaining those in the CCv2
Environment
or
also can use it. Environment also, if it is a search, right? Search environment can also use it. You can also download it. Okay, if you are not attaching for environment, then it's normal. If you are attaching for environment, yes, you can see here. So this is the JKS file, right? JKS file we are attaching to development, but anyway, it's not. We are using this environment. That's different story altogether.
So how do I read a .txt file from application?
.txt file, how do you read? You can download and read it.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's say I have stored some password in that .txt file for maybe an API key. How do I read it from that file?
That's what you can download. There is the option to download. You can download and read it.
Okay. Not possible
Okay.
from via application, right?
No. When you double click also, there is no option to double click here. You need to download and see it.
Okay, sir.
All right. So the next important scenario is, this is a nice one here. Okay. So this point you can understand this one, please. You need to understand the scenario first. Just now I said your company can have multiple development environments, right? D1, D2, D3, like that. Yes or no?
Question.
Understand this scenario here. This is very important. So your company can have multiple environments, multiple development environments. Okay, good. But you will have only one property file, right? So like a local hyphen dev dot properties. Can I have local hyphen d1 dot properties, d2 dot properties, d3 dot properties? No, that's not there. Is that clear? We will have only one local dot properties, local hyphen dev dot properties. You cannot have local hyphen d1 dot properties, local hyphen d2 dot properties, local hyphen d3 dot properties. That you cannot have. Now, what I am trying to say that, so let's say there is only one property file, and let's say that you are using for local hyphen dev dot properties. So here you mentioned, so let's say SSO key, SSO information, you mentioned D1 related. D1 related you mentioned in this. Can you guys pay attention? D1 related you mentioned here. Now, if you deploy the code in D2, it will fail, right? Because here local dot properties is same for all the environments. Local dot properties is same for all the environments, and SSO is what D1 related. SSO is what D1 related. Then how do I specify SSO details D2 related, D3 related? So if I have local hyphen D1 dot properties, local hyphen D2 dot properties, local hyphen D3 dot properties, Then here I can configure D2 related, here I can configure D3 related, no problem, but that's not there. Then what to do? Is that clear, everyone?
So,
So what to do? The solution is, so let first step here. Okay, first point is let local hyphen dev dot properties have SSO D1 related. Let it be. Then, so for D2, you want D2 related, right? For that, what you can do is that you can go to the environments, go to the D2, click on the D2, you will see D2. Then in the bottom, you will see services. Click on the services. Then there is something called common services. Okay, let me show you here. Yeah, here. Can you see this one, please? So you can click on the environment and go to your environment D2, then services. Once you click on the services, okay, so once you click on the services, then you will see something called properties. So here you can mention your D2 SSO property. So this is applied only for D2 and override the D1. Similarly, you can go to the D3. Okay, so what I'm trying to say that go to the environment, go to the D2, go to the services, then there are common services. Go to there. There you can say SSO. You can put the D2 related. Similarly, third step is you can go to environments. You can go to D3 now. Then go to the services. Then you have HCS common services. You can say so. The name is HCS common services. Okay. So HCS common services. Go there. Go there. So here you can put SSO D3 related. Like this, you can specify environment specific properties. You can see environment specific properties. So therefore, these will have first priority. So if it is not found here, then it will go and pick from the dev local hyphen dev dot properties. So these will have first priority. So if you have something here, these will execute first. If you don't have here, let's say you don't have here, then it will go and pick from the local hyphen dev dot properties. Local hyphen dev dot properties. Is that clear?
question.
Everyone?
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, good. Then similar scenario, one more thing here. Similar scenario, one more thing. Related to this only, one more thing. Can you see this one, please? Right now, okay, I am going to the website. Can you see the scenario, please? I am going to the website, I search it. When I search it, total how many products are there? Total how many products are there?
138.
138 products. And each page 20 products are coming. 20 into 138 means 7 pages are coming. 7 pages. So that means when I search something, then I'm getting 138 products results, and each page is having 20 products. This is a scenario. But your company want 60 products in a page. Your company want 60 products in a page. Your company want 60 products in a page. Then what you need to do? You need to come to the, so there is a property here. So the property is storefront.search.page-size.desktop equal to 60. So if I come and change in the local dot properties, Okay, if I come and change in the, let's say I go here, so that property, whatever you call it as, so that size dot something. So what is the name here? Storefront search page size, this one, desktop equal to 60. So let's say that desktop equal to that whatever you call it as, let's say I modified as 60. If I put in the local dot properties, what is the challenge? I
All the
need to
environments.
deploy and restart the server. I need to deploy this change and restart the server.
Yes.
I don't want. I want dynamically. I want dynamically. So if you want to dynamically, if it is on-premise, I told we have many nodes, right? Do you remember? Node 1, node 2, like that. Yesterday we discussed.
Yes, sir.
You can go to the node 1 HAC and you can set the size equal to 60, and you can go to the node 2 HAC. You can set the size equal to 60 like this. This is how you need to do in the on-premise. You can go to the node 10. Let's say you have 10 nodes. Size equal to 60 like that you can set it. This is how you can do in the on-premise. So that means you need to go to each node and set it. If it is on-premise. If it is a cloud, simply go to the services. Go to the environment and let's say development environment or production environment. Okay, go to the services, then common services. Then in the common services, you can specify here and click on apply. The moment you click on apply, then it will take 4 to 5 minutes and apply for all the, it will take 4 to or around 5 minutes and apply for all the nodes. Here you call it as pods. Apply all the pods. So here system is not down. So system will work as is. That's the advantage of this HCS common properties. That's the advantage of this HCS common properties. Is that clear?
Shanna, for on-premise, it won't survive server restart, right?
Yes, but you need to go to each node, right? So let's say you
Yeah,
have 20 nodes. 20 nodes you need to go and apply it.
but next time, if we restart the server, it will be
Correct.
lost, right?
So it will pick
Go
from the
back to
local node properties. But here, in case of cloud, if you put here, this is permanent. Whether you restart, whether you come back tomorrow, you deploy tomorrow, this will be permanent, and this will have the first priority.
Yes, sure.
Good. This is one important thing you should remember, as in the real time you will have multiple environments. This one especially. So that is what it is explained here. Okay, now let's come back here. So this we discussed it, IP filters, all these things we discussed it. Then after, okay, that's it. After doing this, okay, after doing this minimum, now it's time to, okay, next scenario is do the build code. So we already configured the Git location. Git location means code, where is the code, right? Where is the code? Now it's time to build the code in the cloud. How do I do that? So if you want to do that, you can see there is an option here, build. You can see there is an option here, build. Configure Git we have seen. So you can see there is an option here, build. Then once you click on the build, there is something called create here. Click on the create, then give the branch name and give the name anything here. Give the branch name. So which branch you want to build? Build means like a compile. So do you want to build the develop branch, release branch, master branch, feature branch, any branch you can give. And give name, click on save. There is a button here, save. Then it will show you build is successful or failure like that. If it is a failure, okay, if it is a failure, then you will see the log to download the log, why it is failure and all. But right now you can see build is successful. Once a build is successful, okay, next we need to deploy this code, deploy this build. Build means code. Deploy this build in target environments. So that means you can deploy into development environment, you can deploy into staging environment, you can deploy into production environment, whatever environment you can deploy. Then how to deploy? So again same. So you can click on the builds. Okay, so here you have the successful build, right? Click on this name. Click on this name. Once you click on the name, then you are getting the button called deploy to target or deploy to environment. Deploy to environment. Then there you will be able to select the environment. You can see. Do you want to deploy to D1, S1, P1 like that? And here you have some options we need to discuss now. Okay, let's discuss these options. Okay, we are trying to deploy. When you try to deploy, so here you are selecting the environment. That's good. Then in the right, then along with that, you have some options here. What is the meaning of these options? Let's understand. So let's say you have done JSP change or Java change, all these things. So you have done JSP change or Java change, all those things. Then select no migration required. Select no migration required. Let's say you have done some item.xml file changes. So that means you created a table and all. So you have done asterisk hyphen items.xml changes. Then select migration data. Then select migration data. Then there is one more option here, initialization. You know what is the meaning of initialization, right? So that means if you delete all the database and create everything from scratch, generally we don't select it. That is only first time. So therefore, if you have done Java changes, JSP changes, some coding changes, then go with the no migration required. If you have done the item.xml file changes, that means you created a table and all, go with the migration data. So you can go with the initialization if you want to delete everything and do a fresh deployment. Okay, next right side you can see whenever you are deploying rolling deployment or shutdown and deployment. Yesterday I discussed this option. What is the meaning of rolling deployment? Rolling deployment means no downtime, zero downtime. So first it will put in one node, one pod. Next it will put in the second part, third part, like that. Yesterday's restaurant example, do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if you don't want rolling deployment, you want to shut down and do the deployment, go with the second option. So that's why you can see, so shutdown will be fast, but downtime is there, site will not work. So rolling means what? One by one. So site will work, but it will be doing by node. This is how you can specify and click on deploy. The moment you click on deploy, your code will be deployed into the target environments. You can see this particular code is deployed into the D1 and S1. That's what the meaning. This is how you can deploy your code. This is how you can deploy your code. This is how you can deploy your code into the CCv2. So we have seen trusted certificates, we have seen the build, we have seen the deployment. Okay, so this is how you can deploy into the environments and what is the meaning of no migration, migration, deployment modes. So you can see when you do the deployment, it will show the progress like this. It will show the progress like this. That's it. Next. So then once it is deployed, you can go on to click on, if it is a Spartacus, click on this. If it is a back office, click on this. If it is a site, then you will see one more URL here. Once you click on that, then you will get this kind of results. You will get this kind of results. You can see back office results, site results, all these things will come here. And services configuration, just now I explained, right? So you can see, okay, just now I told, right? You can see HCS commons. Just now I explained this. Okay, how to change that properties. Just now we discussed it. Next. Okay, we deployed, done all those things. So the next one is, let's say there are some errors. Then we need to monitor it. Let's say some errors, we need to monitor it. So for monitoring purpose, CCv2 provides Kibana. So this was till 2 months back. Okay, so now they are giving something log monitoring services. SAP CCv2 log monitoring. Okay, so cloud, okay, yeah, log monitoring with Kibana. Not log, okay. So the name is something like a
This conference will now be recorded.
okay. So now if you want to see the logs, right? Now let's say we deployed the application or we deployed the site, and so you want to see what errors are there, what exceptions are there, all those things. For monitoring purpose, earlier we were using Kibana. Now it's a commerce logs blob storage. It's a common place basically. Earlier it's via Kibana, but now they are using the commerce logs blob storage. So here you can go here and try to access your logs. Basically in the CCv2 itself, you will have a link. In the CCv2 itself, you have a link. If you come down, so here logging is there, right? Here it's showing Kibana. Instead of the Kibana, it will show a different link now. So once you click on that, you will go to the, instead of Kibana, you will go to that place. What is that place? So commerce logs blob storage. There you can give your error information. Then you can see what kind of logs, all those things. But here Kibana logs are there. I need to update this document. I will update it. So this is how you can see the logs. If you have any challenges and all those information. Okay. So next thing is that, so let's say for your website, you want to enable some caching. Let's say your website is having some JavaScript files, some image files and all. You want to cache it. So if you want to cache it, yes, you can do it. How do I do it? I'm showing you. So go to your, let's say for development environment, for my website, I want to enable the caching. So therefore, go to the development environment, site URL, and you can see there is a here add path. So here you can specify which one you want to cache it, underscore UI. So whatever there in the underscore UI, it will be cached. Underscore media, whatever there in the underscore media, it will be cached. Like this, you can enable the web caching. Like this, you can enable the web caching. Tomorrow, if you don't want, there is an option here itself, delete. You can just delete it. Like this, you can cache the resources. Static files, just now we discussed it. And one more important thing is that, let's say, okay, so let's say you are setting down the site, down the site and doing the deployment. When you shut down the site and doing the deployment, when you shut down the site and do the deployment, do you provide the maintenance page? Do you provide the maintenance page?
Yes.
Yes. Now let's see how do we do the maintenance page. Okay. Let's see how do we do the maintenance page. So you are setting down the site. Okay, shut down. Okay, you shut down the site and doing the deployment. When you shut down the site and doing the deployment, you need to provide the maintenance page. So how to create the maintenance page? So step number 1. So step number 1, you need to create a folder. So in the desktop, first you do this in your machine. You need to create a folder called error. In that you need to create a file called 503.html. Okay, create folder called error and create a file called 503.html. So in this 503.html, you can put the message whatever you want. Put the maintenance message. If that is required, some images, put the images, all those things, do stylish way. Then you need to zip this. Zip this error folder. After zipping the error folder, step number 3, go to the CCv2, upload it. You can see static files is there, right? In the static files, there is a create and upload your zip. Okay, so go to the CCv2 portal. Okay, upload. Okay, so error.zip. Let's say error.zip. You can see I uploaded it. Now this I need to attach it to the site, right? So attach this to site URL. So how do I attach it? So let me make this as little smaller size. How do I attach it? You can see here. You can go to environment. You can, let's say I want to attach it to the development URL. So that means whenever development site is not available, I want to show this maintenance page. Whenever development site is not available, I want to show this maintenance page. So therefore, you can go to this D1, go to that development site URL, and there is a static file configuration. Okay, so here you can put that maintenance page whatever you uploaded. Here you can put whatever you uploaded. After that, you can go to that URL. You can see site URL, and you can say activate maintenance. Activate maintenance. Then maintenance will. So whoever hit the site URL, they will get the maintenance page like this. Assume that development is done. Once the development is done, again you can come back and say deactivate maintenance. Again you can come back and say deactivate maintenance. Like this you can provide the maintenance pages. Like this you can provide the maintenance pages. That's it. Any questions so far? How to create the maintenance pages?
So any particular format like folder structure we need to follow for this, or?
I told right steps. What happened? This is must. You need to create a error folder 503.html. Then put any message whatever you want. Then make it as a zip file. Go to the CCv2, upload it, attach it to the URL. After attaching to the URL, okay. So go to the URL and activate maintenance page. Go to the URL and click on activate maintenance page. And after done, again deactivate maintenance page. That's it.
So what if it has any CSS or images it is referring to?
You need to mention those only, here only you can see. Okay, So here you can see, so my images I am putting that folder only. You can see images I am putting in my folder. So if any things you are using, put here only. Everything you need to put here. My error folder not only having 503 HTML, images are there, HTMLs are there, CSS are there, everything.
Okay.
So, but error dot folder should have minimum 503 dot HTML. If this HTML is using images, put the images. If HTML is using some other CSS, put the CSS. Everything you need to put in this file only or in this folder only. So then zip it as error.zip. That error.zip you need to upload it. Okay. Next, finally, one more important topic is, sorry, any question?
All good. Thanks.
So the next scenario is, let's say now you have the site. Okay, so you have the back office, so on, so on, so. So some people are saying that, okay, site performance is, okay, site performance is not good. Performance is not as per expected, or let's say certain product is taking, okay, or let's say certain product page is taking too long, or some people are saying that, oh, there is a memory leakages and so on and so on. Okay, so memory leakages. Okay, so and so on and so on. So therefore, how do I get the details of all these things? Okay, so the answer is Dynatrace. So SAP Commerce CCv2 by default provides Dynatrace. So from the Dynatrace, you can see your page. From the Dynatrace, so you can check, are there any memory leakages? Are there any CPU utilization challenges? Are there any network challenges? So how much time query is taking? So how much time traffic is taking? Everything you can monitor it. Everything you can monitor it. Dynatrace. So by default, SAP Commerce provides the, or CCv2 provides the Dynatrace. So how do I see the Dynatrace? You can see, go to your environments, select your environment, let's say development stage and all. There is a section called monitoring. So in the monitoring, there is an icon here, click on that, then Dynatrace will open. Then Dynatrace will open. So there you can go and select your environment and see the logs or see the details. One more thing is that this Dynatrace you can configure in your mobile. This Dynatrace you can configure in your mobile so that you will get the notifications. How to configure in the mobile? Okay, how to configure in the mobile? First, you can download the Dynatrace in your mobile. You can download the Dynatrace in your mobile. Click on login. Once you click on login, and once you click on login, you can see in the right side there is a human icon. So sorry, you click on the login here. Then come to the CCv2 portal. In the CCv2 portal, go to the Dynatrace. Once you go to the Dynatrace, there is a user icon. You can go to the user icon, click on this receive alerts in the mobile. Then you will get this kind of barcode. This barcode you scan from your mobile so that your mobile will connect to that. Then in the mobile you will see environments, development environment, staging environment, like that. Select which environment alerts you want to see. So let's say you selected the development. Then in the mobile you are seeing this kind of alerts. And if you don't want later, you can come and delete also. No problem. Like this Dynatrace, if you want to configure for your mobiles, you can configure it. In the Dynatrace, you can also create the dashboards. Let's say all the errors, for all the errors, one dashboard, all the exceptions, one dashboard, all the, let's say server is very slow or something, then you can create one dashboards and all. So for this, you need to have a Dynatrace knowledge here. You cannot do on the fly. Okay, if you want to learn more on the Dynatrace, okay, so there is a separate documentation for the Dynatrace. You can do it. But I just given high level at least. When you have a CCv2 environment, you can try to explore at least these options. You can see I created one dashboard which is having the information of the peak times, all those things. Okay, like this you can configure the Dynatraces. Then finally, let's say in the CCv2 you have some challenges. CCv2 is provided for us, right? CCv2 is provided for us. So if you have a challenges, you can go and create a ticket. So you can go to this and create the ticket. You can go to this and create the ticket. Then one more thing is that let's say you want to create your own URL. So if you want to create your own URL, so there is you can go to your environment, click on D1. So once you click on the D1, so you can see here, please. Okay, let's understand this. Okay, so this is the point you need to understand here. SAP Commerce Cloud URLs are SAP Commerce Cloud, CCv2 URLs are lengthy. Lengthy. So that means it will have something like this. Let me show you how it looks. SAP Commerce Cloud default URL, how it looks. Let me show you. Can you see this one here? So this is how it looks. Default URLs. Can you give this kind of URL to the customer?
No.
Can you give this kind of URL to the customers?
No, Chenna.
No, we cannot give, right? So now the question is how to make a friendly URL. How to make friendly URL. So let's say Reliance digital.in. So you want to make Reliance digital.in. So if you want to make Reliance digital.in, step number 1. So this is the actual URL, right? So ask your company network team to create CNAME for this actual URL. They will create it here. So ask your company network team or whoever is that persons. Okay. So create the CNAME for this actual URL. This is the actual URL. So what is the meaning of actual URL? So this is the meaning of actual URL. This is the meaning of actual URL. Now you want a friendly URL like this. So therefore, ask your company to create a CNAME for this actual URL. You provide this URL. Then step number 2, after creating, ask them to provide the certs and keys, certs key files. So they will provide it here. Then you know how to create the certs, right? So come to CCv2 portal and create these certs. So these certs you can create it. Just now I explained how to create. After that, step number 4, create friendly URL. Okay, so ask network team to create CNAME. This is the CNAME, okay? CNAME for the actual URL. So you need to mention, you need to give to them here. So you need to create the CNAME reliancedigital.in for this actual URL. They will create it. Now create the friendly URL. How to create the friendly URL? That's what the steps here. Come down. Yeah. Okay. So you can see here. So let's say I want to create for my development environment. So go to the development environment and there is a URL. Click on create. The moment you click on create, you can give any name here. So here give the Reliance Digital. Reliance digital.in. Then here you can specify the cert. Just now we created the cert, right? Here you can specify the cert. Then the next one is, so here you need to specify if it is a Spartacus, specify the JS storefront. If it is an accelerator, just storefront service. Then you can specify the proxy timeout, 30 seconds, 60 seconds like that. Generally you can specify 180 seconds. Then specify the IP filter sets. IP filter sets means what? Who can access this website? Okay. Then specify the maintenance pages. If you have a maintenance page, you can specify. And specify the caching mechanism if you want. Like that, you do all these things. Click on finish. Once you click on the finish, that URL you can able to access. Going forward, you can hit Reliance Digital, you will get it. Going forward, you can hit Reliance Digital, you will get it. Like that, you can create the CNAME, short name, or alias name for the actual URLs for your CCv2. Then the final one more topic is, so let's say I want to take a database backup. Okay, so I want to take the backups. So please remember this here in the CCv2, in CCv2, your company, okay, your company data already backed up. But if you want to take care yourself also because of your deployments, that is also possible. If you want to do also, then it's possible. So let's say CCv2, in CCv2 company data is backed up every 15 minutes. Assume that, okay? So if it is backed up every 15 minutes, you don't know when the 15 minute comes, right? So that's why you want to take care yourself. If you want to take care yourself, okay, let's say you want to take the production backup. So go to the environment, go to the production, and there is a section here, data backups. So click on create, give the name, and click on create. So it will take half an hour to 1 hour, depends upon the size. Then you will be seeing like this. So that means database get created. Now whatever database backed up, you want to, let's say right now I backed up, I have taken the backup of the production, right? This production backup, I want to move to staging. If you want to move to staging, you can click on this icon. You can click on this icon. Then you are seeing there is a restore environment and select stage here. So that means whatever you backed up in production will be moved to stage automatically. So this is how you can move the data from stage to production, production to staged and all. So generally production data will be replicated into staged at periodic intervals, right? Generally production data will be replicated to staged at periodic intervals. In that situation, you can create a backup in the production, and once the backup is ready, you can click on this icon. Then there is a restore environment, select staging, then all the production data is replicated to staging. So this is how you can do the set up the activities in the CCv2. That's all for today. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Else we are